Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren Zykori. I'm the lead charter agent at Nautic Ed Sailing and Yacht Charter Vacations. I have been a yacht charter agent and broker for over 10 years, and I've helped thousands of clients take wonderful yacht charter vacations. Now, the process of planning and booking a yacht charter can seem a bit overwhelming, especially if it's your first time. So, this presentation is really going to help simplify the process for you so that you know what questions you need to ask and what decisions need to be made. So, for a first time charter, there's some basic questions that you need to decide on. First is the style of charter. Would you like to bareboat the charter yourself, where you skipper and have total independence? Or perhaps you'd like to hire a skipper or an instructional skipper. Another option is to go fully crewed, where you have a hostess and a skipper and perhaps a dockhand. And finally, you can grab a cabin on a charter boat, perhaps in a flotilla. Next, you'll want to decide on the yacht type. Would you prefer the spacious, stable catamaran or the classic monohull for sailing? Another option could be a motor sailor or a goulette, particularly in the Mediterranean. Ultimately, in planning your first charter, you want to match the group size, comfort level, and budget to not only the style of the charter, but also the particular yacht type. Now, which destinations are best? So, if this is truly your first time charter, we will always recommend that you go to the BVI. It's easy sailing, line of sight, fun, beautiful beach bars, and it's an easy destination for first time charterers. If you're more interested in a Mediterranean charter, Croatia and Greece are great. In particular, the Ionian Islands on the western side of Greece are ideal for first time Mediterranean charters. Now, if you're going crewed or skippered, the world is your oyster. You can go to the Caribbean, the Mediterranean, or exotics, or Brazil. There are really endless options out there when you go crewed or skippered. Ultimately, in terms of matching a destination, we want to consider your experience as well as the destination. So it's a little bit of matchmaking going on. This is really when a yacht charter agent can help you to match the destination with the boat, with your budget, with your comfort level. Now, when is the best time to go? So, the three main seasons when we're talking about chartering. High season tends to have the best weather, but also the highest prices. This is when most people do their chartering. It's crowded sometimes. In the Mediterranean, the high season is particularly July and August. In the Caribbean, it's going to be between December through April, with, of course, Christmas time and New Year's being the most expensive. We really recommend the shoulder season. This is going to be slightly before the high season or slightly after the high season. You still get great sailing weather, warm waters, and you're getting a little bit better balance of price, conditions, and crowds. Now, if you're really on a budget, the low season is an option. In the Mediterranean, this can be early May, but you just do have to be aware that some marinas or restaurants or amenities on shore are closed. And in the Caribbean, this is going to be the hurricane season, August through October. And it's not that you shouldn't go during this time, but we just need to consider the weather risks and perhaps take out travel insurance to mitigate those risks. Now, how far in advance should you book? Well, if you have particular requirements or you're going in the high season or you want a crude yacht charter, we definitely recommend about 12 months ahead to book. If you're going in the shoulder season, a little bit less specific about boat requirements, 10 months is when you should start the process. Now, there are options for last minute charters. It's definitely possible, but they're just going to be fewer options in terms of boats, less choice of marinas, and less choice of boat availability. Should you use a broker or book direct? So I'm going to be a little bit biased here because I am a yacht charter agent broker. But what the benefits of using a broker or agency is that we have access to all the fleets, not just one. So any yacht charter agent is going to be able to look at a variety of boats that might suit your needs and present those to you so that you can really compare apples to apples. When you're booking direct, you're only talking to one charter company, and so you're only getting their recommendations and their fleets. Brokers and agencies not only compare boats across all operators, but we also handle the logistics such as contracts, insurance, and licensing requirements. And we also act as an advocate if there's a dispute or breakdown. Essentially, when you use a broker or agent, they work for you and only you. Whereas if you go direct, you're just stuck with the one charter company. So, how do you choose a charter company? Well, relying on an agent is definitely helpful because they know the good charter companies and the bad charter companies. But essentially, you want to look at the charter company's reputation. So, Google reviews are great. Look at their overall fleet, not just the boats that you're considering. Do they have older boats? How are those boats maintained? Um, do they have a good record? Is their website up to date? So these are some of the things you want to look for in choosing a charter company. Now, what documents or licenses do you need to charter? So, if you're chartering in the Mediterranean, a formal license is required, and these countries are pretty strict. For international friends, the RYA ICC is often an accepted license, and for Americans or North Americans, the Nautic Ed SLC is an acceptable license in all of the Mediterranean. Now, the Caribbean, on the other hand, while they all certifications are good, they really want to see a sailing resume versus a license or a certification. And so, in particular, they want to see a sailing resume documenting not only theory knowledge, but on the water experience. And what they're looking for is that your resume shows that you have sufficient on the water experience on a boat that is similar in size and nature to the one you're wanting to charter. In the Caribbean, sometimes you can get a checkout skipper, which is like a 1 day skipper just to review your skills. And they make the ultimate decision if you can continue on bareboating. So the requirements do vary by destination. Seychelles, for example, requires a license. Thailand has particular insurance requirements. Belize requires a certificate of competence. So you definitely want to make sure that you have the requirements to bareboat before you make a booking. What about provisioning and extras? So, for provisioning these days, there are a lot of options, and most of the time now, there is an ability in the destination to order online and to pre order. And this is always helpful because it saves time and you're not lugging around cases of water or beer. Now, it's always fun to go chartering and go provisioning in a foreign country. So, if you forget something in your pre orders, don't worry. There's always local markets or local places to stock up. Sometimes the fleets and the charter companies offer provisioning packages and they can assist with provisioning. Now, water toys and other extras are things you're going to want to consider. In the Mediterranean, for example, we always recommend the early boarding option. This allows you to get onto the boat earlier and leave the marina that first night. The BVI, for example, has a variety of water toys. There are also available options for transfers or increasing the dinghy size or increasing the outboard size or extra towels or extra beach towels. So you'll definitely want to get a full list of extra options from the charter company and then make decisions about what things you'd like to include. Now, what questions should you ask before you actually make a booking? So, you want to know specifically what's included in the price, what do you prepay, and what do you pay at base. In the BVI, for example, many charter companies have you pay a tourist tax, which is a per person per day cost, and that's often payable at base. In the Mediterranean, the options, whether those are mandatory like cleaning or early boarding, which is an optional extra, those are paid at base in cash. Some of the other things you need to ask about: is there a cleaning fee? What are the mooring fees like? Is it boaty ball? Do I need to make reservations in marinas in advance? Do I have to refuel the boat when I come back? What is the security deposit? Can I pay via credit card? Do I need to pay in cash? What is the cancellation and refund policy? Can I see your terms and conditions? So these are some of the questions you could ask a charter company, and these are also some of the questions that a charter agent or broker knows, and so they can be really helpful. What if something breaks on the boat? Well, unfortunately, these are boats and things do break, but most bases have tech support within a few hours. So, upon boarding the boat and during a boat briefing, you will get the information and get the phone numbers for 24/7 technical support. Most repairs, can be made in the port or at sea, depending on the severity. But you do want to check and ask the charter company about the average response time, the availability of backup boats if needed, and how emergency support works outside of base hours. Are there charter scams? Well, unfortunately, there are. We recommend avoiding too good to be too true prices, avoid wiring money directly to individuals, verify the company or your broker credentials. Ultimately, if it feels too good to be true, it usually is. There are many websites out there that are just basically boat searches. And so you search on these websites and pay direct, but you don't have any communication with either an agent or charter company. So we always recommend that you actually speak to somebody or have communication with someone, whether that's a charter agent or the charter company itself. An additional thing to consider when you're chartering is the overall budget and costs. So, the base price of the boat is only part of the cost. We do have to consider the extras, both obligatory and optional. Cleaning, for example, of the boat is 99% always going to be an obligatory extra. The other extras you have to consider are the water toys or the optional extras we talked about prior. And then there are also going to be moorings. Do you pay for a berth in a Croatian marina, or do you use Boaty Ball and pay for a fee in the BVI? You'll also need to refuel the boat. There's insurance, not only travel insurance to consider, but damage waiver insurance. And then additional costs include provisioning and on land excursions. Ultimately, in making a first time charter decision or yacht chartering generally, it's going to be a matchmaking. We want to match the style, the destination, the timing, and the budget. Using a yacht charter agent can be really helpful. They simplify the process for you and protect you. But even if you're going alone, plan early, ask questions, and ultimately have an amazing yacht charter experience. Cheers.